know you're on. Right.
It was quite a little short storm we had,
Oh, tell me about it. I know there's
right?
a few trees down across the city. There's a bunch of trees down. Crazy.
I have a large one in my backyard, and I was hoping that wasn't going to get
Oh yeah.
that would have taken the rear end of my house right
Yeah,
out.
that's not good. We don't want that to happen, John. No, not at all. We don't want that.
I had that happen last week.
Yeah, that's not good.
And how are you?
All right, Heather and Deb, I think you guys are muted. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. All right, so let's, I think all my commissioners are here that are going to attend. I know we have,
Hi, Nick. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, Deb, yes.
Thank
Heather,
you,
can
Nick.
you hit the unmute? I can't hear you, Heather. Can you hit unmute? I can't hear you.
Can you hear me, Nick?
Yes, Ian, I can hear you very well.
Thank you.
All right,
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, Heather, perfect.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna, let's start this meeting. This is the October 7th, 2020 meeting of the Revere Conservation Commission. If we can stand and salute the flag. We'll start with that first, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag.
The flag,
the
United States of America,
and
to the republic
for
which it stands, one nation,
God,
God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, let's do a quick roll call. My counselors, Commissioner David Etoff.
Here.
Commissioner Heather Legier,
Here.
Commissioner Debbie Santiano McCatton,
Present.
Commissioner Ann Raponi,
Present.
present. I know Joe Laval is not here. He had something to attend. And I know Toby Cassidy isn't here, and I'm Nick Malayson, the chairman. Can I just have a motion for the approval of the minutes from the September 2nd meeting?
Motion to approve.
Motion approved by Dave. Do I have a second?
Yes, I'll second it.
Seconded by Ann Raponi. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I,
All right, first item on the agenda is a continued public hearing for 320 Charger Street, Caruso Properties. I know I emailed you guys all the vegetation plans, what they're gonna do, so I'm gonna turn it over now to Rick Salvo from Engineering Alliance.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. For the record, Rick Salvo with Engineering Alliance. Here this evening on behalf of Steve Caruso, who's sitting next to me, but you can't see him. So we were before the commission 2 months ago. Let's see if I can share my screen here. To present this plan, which included the construction of a retaining wall and then the filling of a slope that ranged in distance from about 13 feet to about 20 feet. And the question had come up that there was really no mitigation shown for the extra surface that would be converted from an existing slope to part of the operation down there on Charger Street. So what we did, and the reason why we missed the last meeting, is we contracted with Rimmer Environmental Consulting, who went out and walked the site, took a look at the types of vegetation that was out there. As you saw in her report, by and large, most of the vegetation on the slope is non-native, a lot of Phragmites, switchgrass, red fescue, and the like. So she came up with an enhancement plan for us. So the limit of work has not changed. It will still be the wall placed in the same configuration. However, she's come up with a planting plan consisting of about 177 plantings. You can see over here is the list that's coded. to the different types of plantings, which are a variety of black cherries, pitch pine, bayberry, marsh elder, beech plum, Virginia rose, and along with that, we'll be removing as much of the Phragmites from that slope as we can, as it's, as you know, it's an invasive species. So, like I said, the proposal is the same. The difference from the last time you saw it is the bank enhancement plan that we've come up with. The DEP has issued a file number for this under 061-0742. It has not indicated any comments. So I guess with that, I turn it back over to the commission for any questions or comments.
I know, Rick, I know the biggest issue we had is everyone thought it was 50 feet, but it's not.
Right.
It's only like 22, 23 feet is the most, right?
22, 23 at the max,
Okay.
about 19 feet, as you can see over there. Whoops.
Yep. Okay. Any other commissioners have any questions?
When, Rick, when do you plan on starting this work and when do you hope to have it done by?
I think we'd like to start it right away. And, you know, depending on when we get it finished, would depend on whether we plant it in the fall or if we plant it in the spring, depending on how long it takes us.
You anticipated my second question, so thank you.
Any other commissioners have any questions?
Yes, do you know how long the length of the job will be? When will it be complete? How much time will be involved?
How long do you think it takes us to finish to build the wall and all that? 60 days. Probably about 40 to 60 days.
Okay. All right, so about 2 months, Ann, you heard that?
Yes, I did hear that. Thank you very much.
All right, any other questions from my commissioners? All right, do I have a motion to approve the order of conditions?
I'll make that motion.
Dave makes a motion. Do I have a second?
Yes, I'll second it.
Seconded by Ann Raponi. Do I have a motion to close out this public hearing, please?
I'll make that motion as well.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded Ann Raponi. All in favor on both, say aye.
Aye.
All right, Rick, I'll get this order of conditions to you in the next couple of days. I just gotta get some signatures and we'll get it over to you.
Okay, sounds good. I appreciate
All
it.
right, thank you, Rick.
Thank you for your time,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys, our next item on the agenda is 135 American Legion Highway, the Amazon facility. They've actually asked us to postpone it one more month because they are close to coming up with a plan, but they needed some more time. So I asked them, they asked me if we can postpone it till next month, and I said, no problem. So we're gonna skip that one until next month.
Great.
So next is a public hearing, Mass DEP file 0610744, City Revere, Alden Ave at Rice Avenue, installation of a 12-inch drain and a new 4-foot catch basin. This is actually a continued public hearing from last month. And I know we have someone from CDM Smith here. Can I just have name and address for the record?
This is Adrian Fleury, CDM Smith's. It's address of the office.
Yep, please.
That is 75 State Street, Boston, Mass.
Okay.
02109.
All right, if we can just, and I know we went over this yesterday, Adrian, if we can just, and I know Magdalena's here too. Magdalena, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. So we can just go over, I don't know who wants to talk, whether it's Adrian or Magdalena, just tell us what's going to be happening. I know the homeowner is here as well and might have some more questions.
All right. So I'm Magdalena Lofstedt. I'm a wetland scientist with CDM Smith. And so we have a brief PowerPoint presentation. I can share my screen here.
Yep. Can you get it? Perfect. Can all you guys see that?
Yes, we can. I
You
can.
guys can see it? Okay.
Okay. I'm having some difficulties here with my screen, actually.
Okay.
Okay. So this is contract 3D private illicit inflow removal project. So let me go to the next slide.
Yep.
I don't know. It's not really working for me.
Take your time if you can get it.
Oh, here.
Here we go.
So The project basically consists of removing and redirecting illicit connections from the sanitary sewer system. So it's basically removing some pump connections or, from private residences that is currently connected to the sanitary sewer. And the overall project under this contract involves 28 private properties throughout the city. Although only one of those 28 properties is subject to the review by the Riviera Conservation Commission because it is located in land subject to coastal storm flowage. So this is in the Point of Pines. So you can see just the image of the 100-year floodplain map to the right. So basically, the project consists of disconnecting the sump pump connections from the sewer and redirecting it to the existing city drains. So this is an effort for the city to eliminate infiltration and inflow and eliminate potential sewer system overflows at manholes and pumping stations. So let me see, next one. So I'm going to hand it over to Adrian, who is the project engineer and knows a lot more about this than I do.
Perfect. I just want to give a little point of information. This particular house does not have any sump pumps. It just happens to be an outside drain that somewhere along the line was connected somewhere. So there is no sump pump, but we do know it goes into the sanitary system. So, all right, Adrian, if you want to take over, that'll be great.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Maggie. So that's exactly right. So this is an area drain, a sidewalk drain that is connected to the sanitary sewer. It was identified first through smoke testing and then with a follow-up dye test where dye is poured into the source with water, and then the flow is observed at the downstream sewer manhole. So we find some of these along with all the sump pumps we find. We also find a lot of roof drains and gutter drains too. And these are a little harder to connect because you never splash them. You always have to go the route of connecting them directly to a stormwater drain, sorry. So in the case that there's not an existing stormwater drain in front of the property, we can extend the drain like we're going to do in this case here.
And I know I was just reading the plan, so it's about 140 linear feet of drain we're adding with a catch basin, correct?
Correct. Yeah. So sorry, that's going to be on the next slide here.
Okay.
So yep. So we're going to extend the existing drain on Alden Ave another 140 feet in order to install a catch basin in front of the house here, right about where the white car pictured is, I believe. So the new drain from the area drain in the little walkway there is going to connect directly into the new catch basin.
Okay.
And then the sidewalk and the road is going to be restored to existing conditions.
Okay. All right. And like we said yesterday, my biggest thing is these homeowners have no water now. And I just want to make sure that it looks exactly the way it looks yesterday, and hopefully that they will not have any issues in the future with water. So I just want to make sure everything's done properly and correctly. I don't know if either Gina or Wendy, if one of you guys have any questions.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's thank you, and appreciate the work that you guys are doing on this. I think that's absolutely right, Nick. Our main concern is that, it's a pristine, dry basement. And we want to just be assured or reassured that any of the work that you guys are doing isn't going to disrupt that. And then the second piece, and I know you said yesterday that you will restore the walkway to its existing condition. Would love to just sort of, and I think Adrian, you mentioned the road will be restored as well when you dig that up. Have you guys determined what kind of, will you repave it or any thoughts on that? Do you know? Well,
they do have to, and I know Gina, they do have to bring it back to how it is now. So whether they repave the whole street or they end up doing just a patch of it, it needs to be exactly how it is now. And Counselor, I'll let you speak in 1 second, sir. I'm sorry, Commissioner Joe LaValle just joined us as well. John Powers, give me 1 sec. So they do have to bring it back to its original conditions of where it is now. So whether they have to repave the street or just do a patch, that patch will be what it needs to be and be in good shape. I'll make sure of that. Councilor Powers, you got something you want to add, sir?
I do, Nick. Thank you very much. As far as bringing the sidewalk and/or street back to its original condition, that's a requirement by the city. We're there now. If you have a cement sidewalk and we dig it up, or some contractor digs it up, it has to be replaced with same. The question I have though is this line, how big is this line, sir?
The new drain line will be 12 inches in diameter.
12 inches, and this runs into where?
This runs into the existing drain on Alden Ave.
As you are probably aware, we have a main drain that runs from down in the area of Goodwin and Harrington through many properties and ultimately empties out into the pump station on Rice Avenue adjacent to the Yacht Club. And I'm just wondering if this line ultimately is going to wind up there.
So I have the map pulled up in front of me right now. I believe that is the drain line that you were mentioning. I believe it does flow into that line.
Yeah, I would think it would be if it's a 12-inch drain.
Yeah, there's already a line that comes down Alden Avenue now, John, it stops at a certain point. So they're just adding on to that with a new catch basin in front of the side of 325.
Okay,
Exactly.
that answers my question. Thank you.
Any other, Gina or Wendy, you guys have any other questions?
I have no further questions.
Okay, any of my commissioners have any questions? All right, do we have, all right, so this is a public hearing, so there's if we heard from the proponents closing out that side of the hearing, any opponents against this that want to speak against it? Hearing and seeing none there, do I have a motion to issue an order of conditions for this project?
Motion to issue the order?
All right, so Commissioner Etoff approves it. I mean, first, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Heather Legier. All in favor, say aye.
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 All right, Maggie and Adrian, I'll get you guys this order of conditions in the next couple of days once I get all the signatures, and I'll get it submitted for you guys. All
Great.
right?
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank you
guys.
for your time.
Appreciate it.
Okay,
Have a great evening.
you
Thanks,
too.
everyone.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Have a good night. Thank you.
All right, bye-bye. All right, guys, next is the, I know last month we had, and I don't know if Donnie Chamel is on here now. I don't see him, but last month we had innovative mosquito control guy came and spoke. They're gonna do some spraying of the Phragmites and all that stuff down on North Shore Road. So they submitted a form for request for determination of applicability, whether it'll be a negative determination or positive. And all they're doing is spraying this non-chemical mixture that they got that I know he gave us the names last month, and they want to start that soon. So they're looking for a negative determination. Anybody have any questions about it or anything that maybe I can answer for us, but I don't see Donnie on here. They pretty much answered all of our questions last month, if I remember. So does anyone want to make a motion to issue a negative determination?
I'll make the motion.
Ann Raponi makes the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Heather. All in favor, say aye.
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 All right, next we have a determination of applicability for the Point of Pines Yacht Club. And I know we have Jay Bolton is online here. We'll have him speak in a minute. So basically what Point of Pines Yacht Club wants to do is pretty much similar to what they did last year. Last year, they put their docks out on the dormant dune grass during the winter so they can repair some of their docks and stuff like that. So I don't think they're putting as many as they did last year, but they're going to be putting some out there, and it's something they want to do. So if we can turn it over to Jay Bolton, if you'd like to pretty much tell us what we're going to do, Jay, and then we'll ask you some questions.
Absolutely. Thanks, Nick. Yeah, Jay Bolton, Commodore of the Point of Pines. So last year, we had a unique situation. We had a lot of catastrophic storms that destroyed most of our dockage. We needed a place to store them and put them so we could work on them. We did that. We had a little bit of, there was one neighbor that had an issue with that. What we did find was that when we removed those docks in the springtime, that all the vegetation grew back. And I do have a PowerPoint. I can definitely show pictures of that if need be. What we're asking for is two things. One, to put 4 floats or docks next to our building as you're looking at the building to the right side, so we can work on those. The other thing that we're asking for is, as we've found, there was no issue with the dune grass or any of the vegetation growing back, is to store those over the dune in the middle of, over the berm. So for those of you that don't know the story behind this, we were asked back after the no-name storm, because of the flooding, to build a berm, and we did so. We were asked to maintain that berm for 10 years, which back in the 80s, so we're way past that time. We obviously don't want to take that berm out. We want to protect the neighborhood from flooding. In the meantime, what happened was the dune grass and the vegetation grew wild in an area between the dune towards the ocean side, and another berm built up. What we did last year is we placed some docks over the berm that we were asked to build in that grassy area. If we look at that area from the time that we actually build the berm, and as that vegetation encroached the yacht club towards the ocean and towards the club, what we see is a lot of weeds. There's more weeds than dune grass there, but we have maintained that dune as we've been asked to do. And it's our job at the yacht club to protect the neighborhood. One of the other things that the neighbors always ask us is, can you just not stack those floats so high? And we've always been there for the neighbors. So it's kind of a catch-22. We've found that we don't have an issue when we put the docks there. And when we took them out, it grew back. So what we're asking for is permission to not just place 4 floats next to our club to work on them, but to actually place some of the docks over the dune that we've been asked to maintain.
Okay. How many do you think you're gonna put over the dune?
I think we had last year, and again, part of it is be able to work on them, right?
Yep.
I think last year, and I can pull the pictures up if you want me to share my screen. I'm happy to show that.
If you want to, you might as well.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that.
Yeah.
Let me know if you guys can see this.
Well, yeah, it's starting. It's saying that you're sharing the screen, so I'm sure it'll pop up in a second.
Okay. Let me know if you guys can see this.
Yep. Yeah, we can see it now. So early
Okay.
before the storm.
Okay, yeah, so whoop, ditching in and out.
I don't know, we got a little glitch, but we'll see if
There
we
you
can pop it back up. There we go.
Right, so this was and Joe Laval's been there a lot longer than I have, so he can probably speak better to this. But I guess before we were asked to put the berm in, okay, as you can see, there was no dune grass here. As you're looking at the picture to the left side of the building, we actually, the way I understand it, used to bring boats up, actually to the building. So we actually build a berm. If you look at it, actually probably to the front of the building all the way across by the DEP back in the day after the no-name storm, okay?
Okay.
So here's March 2017. If you guys can see that, that was before the storm, okay? Here's December of 2017. You see the vegetation,
Yeah.
you see them doing grass and things. Here's what happened after the storm. We lost about 23 feet of beach in dune grass. So what happened was it all got washed away. If you can see, it was all destroyed. But what you're gonna find is this stuff has a way of coming back. And this is the other side of the building towards the James side, okay? all destroyed, all washed away at sea. We actually built the berm up back on the James's side of our club. As you're looking at the yacht club to the left side,
Okay.
we built the berm back up. Okay. This is the launch in 2018. You can see just the devastation that we went through.
Yeah.
And this is what we laid out. Okay. So we laid out, I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We call it 10 floats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. But this was excessive because of the damage that we incurred.
Yeah, we had that storm like a month or so before you took everything out.
Correct. Yeah. And what we found is that this all grew back. So I'm going to show you some pictures. Here's today. Okay. I took these pictures Sunday.
Okay.
It all filled back in, right? Yeah. There's a side by side, 2017 and 2020. And I also,
it looks like it's better now.
Yeah, it actually looks good. I don't know, but so and again, our ask want to put 4 there and a percentage of the docks and floats on the area behind the dune that we were asked to maintain. That's kind of the ask, and why? I mean, we have to work on the stuff.
Yeah.
And we found that because of the hibernation schedule of the dune grass and of the vegetation, it really didn't affect anything. The other thing is things that are more of our issue, right? Like we have an insurance adjuster that has to come in and view some of the floats and things as we fix them. And sometimes we have to peel off the tops of the floats in order for inspection to happen. We also want to maintain for the city to be able to get down into the manhole. We also want to make sure that we have enough parking. So we stack the floats taller in the wintertime and the fall. Neighbors complain. We stack them lower. We have less parking space for things that the club needs to do. And some of those things are things that we support the city for, like voting, right? So this is pretty much. And in case anyone's curious about us as a boating club, I'm happy to go through the next slide, which is why we're a good neighbor to the neighborhood, why we're a good neighbor to the community, and what we do to support.
Well, I think we all know, we don't necessarily have to go through that, but I know we got Councilor Powers here. I know he wants to speak as well. Councilor, would you like to speak?
Yes, I would, Nick. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Councilor.
As you know, I saw you this morning and I gave you a copy, probably, 20, 30 pages of court actions from Superior Court that go back maybe, if I'm not sure, 90.
I think it was 94.
Yeah, okay. And at that time, the judgment was against the yacht club. And basically, I believe it involved problems with the dunes down there. Now, as you know, Nick, being concerned with conservation as I am, the work that Donnie Tremaro has been doing down from Wonderland through Oak Island. We just spent $700,000 cleaning the Eastern County ditch.
Yeah.
We're cleaning all the trash racks. I mean, the city never before has been so well protected with regard to flooding and water, et cetera, et cetera.
Correct.
And I also know that the yacht club has been partners with the city with regard to keeping a fireboat down there, a police boat, also holding meetings. And less than a month from now, we'll be holding an election down there while we're waiting for the new fire station to be built. But I think our first priority, as far as I'm concerned, is to the residents in that area. Those are the people that live there. They're there 7/24. They don't just, come for a particular reason, a meeting or the vote or something like that.
John, you lost your audio.
John, we lost you, buddy. We can't hear you.
On a piece of vegetation, even though it will come back after, it sort of slows the growth of that vegetation. And that those dunes down there, the dune grass, does a lot to protect the neighborhood down there all along Rice Avenue. And that certainly is something that I would not want to see in any way impacted for any particular reason. That's important. That's when people come home from dinner at night and they don't want to find 6 inches of water in their basement or something like that happening. And, with regard to flooding, et cetera, we're moving in the right direction, whether it be the Point of Pines or Oak Island or Beachmont or anywhere. City's moving in the right direction. So what I would like to see happen is, I think, and there are people down there that have concerns. I would like to see, after this virus subsides, I would like to see a meeting between those people, Conservation Commission, Donnie Chamara, who is very knowledgeable with regard to drainage.
Yep.
And, the people that are directly involved, the yacht club, the Commodore, maybe some of the officers would want to attend. And finally, let's put this to rest. Let's define what can be done and can't be done, what should be done and what shouldn't be done, so that we're all on the right track here, that the yacht club is doing what they need to do, but more importantly, the city is, the residents down there getting the service that they need from the city of Revere with regard to drainage, sewerage, whatever it might be. So that's where I stand on this. And I know it's impossible to have a meeting right now with this virus. I certainly wouldn't want to get 20 people together and then have somebody get sick.
Then we'll be on Turtle Boy. We don't want to have that.
But I would definitely.
Well, I think it's a good idea, Counselor, to definitely, and I know dealing with Jay a lot over the last few years and knowing him as well. Jay is a good neighbor. Jay will do what the neighbors need, what the neighbors want, within reason. You know what I mean? I think to every situation that happens, there's a happy medium for the residents and for the yacht club. Let's figure it all out and keep everybody happy as best we can. And like Jay had said, things are a catch-22. You stack the docks in the parking lot, people can't see the water, they're mad. You stack the docks low, they have less parking, people are parking on Rice Avenue, the neighbors are mad. So I think the best option right now is to allow them to do this, and then give the stipulation, and Joe, we did this last year. Jay, if there's a problem with this dune grass doesn't grow back, it's the responsibility of the yacht club to make sure, get it back to the way it was, whatever it costs. It's not gonna come on the city, it's gonna come on you guys.
Well, Nick, excuse me, as you know, when you put something over a piece of vegetation, it does somehow slow down the growth of that vegetation. And what we're looking to do all along Rice Avenue is increase that vegetation so that the homeowners down there are protected and they're not worried about flooding.
Correct, and I agree with you. It does slow it down to a certain point, but this time of the year for that dune grass, it's dormant. It doesn't grow. So, and from how it looked last year to this spring, I think it looks pretty good. I think it grew back pretty good. That's why I would like to issue them a negative determination with the stipulation that if there's a problem, the yacht club is responsible to make sure it's back to the way it was.
Oh, definitely.
Then next year we need to do this again. If there's a problem, over the winter, if there's a problem that grass don't grow back, all right, Jay, now we got to go back to the table and figure something out for you guys.
And you know that information I showed you today, those pictures, in the other information that was attached to it, there were fines of over $30,000 issued back then in 94.
Yeah.
So obviously, if a Superior Court judge was issuing fines back then, there was a problem. And I just don't want to see that problem exacerbated anymore.
Exactly. And I don't think, and I know back in 94, I don't think Jay was the Commodore. I don't even know if Jay was.
Oh, I know he wasn't. No,
yeah, he wasn't, but
I know he
but
wasn't.
I know we can, the partner that they are for the neighborhood and what they do for us in general. Like you said, they keep the police boat there, the fire boat there for us once in a while. Temporarily, we're using them the last couple of years for voting, so they are a good neighbor. And I think we should give them this, extend them this courtesy for this winter. And then if it's good in the spring again and they want to do it again next winter, we extend it again. You do it every year, do it on a year. I don't want to say, all right, it's good now for 10 years. No, a year by year basis. So that way, now come the spring, if the dune grass is good, leave it alone, and we'll talk about this again next September and October for the following winter.
Nick, thank you. Can I just add something that,
Sure,
like,
yeah, absolutely.
you know, speaking totally honestly and brutally honest as the person I am, right? I think that what we need to do, honestly, is look at the dune. Let's figure out how to beef that up, okay? I think that, you know, it doesn't do anybody any good if any of the neighbors get flooded out. It doesn't do us any good if our parking lot gets flooded out, right? So one of the things I was talking to Donnie about was, you know, let's look at the overall big picture. The parking lot, the berm, how can we make it better? You know, if there's plantings that we need to do that would make it better, or if we need to build it up. And the yacht club's all open for this, right? But like I said, Councilor Powers, we haven't seen a degradation of the vegetation from placing the floats there. And I got to defer to Joe Lavalley, because Joe's not only, you know, obviously a member of the yacht club, but he's also a member of the Conservation Committee. And I know, Joe, you might have something to add as you walked around and did your inspection. So,
Joe, you got anything to add?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, sir. Yes.
Well, I'm in a precarious position here because I have a lot of information that I'd love to give to Council Powers, but I'm also a member of the yacht club, and I feel kind of funny about defending what's going on down there. But believe me, Counselor, I can go back to when I was a kid going to dances at the yacht club. There was no dune down there, not at all. I can show you historical records that will show you back in sometimes around 1918, you could walk flat from the street right to the ocean with no dune. There was a reason why we ended up having to give up on that lawsuit that we had against them. And believe me, there were 2 members that didn't want to go along with that. And I was one of them. And there was another gentleman who didn't want to go with that hearing. But the bottom line is it would have cost us like $90,000 to fight it in court. And the yacht club could not do that kind of an expense to fight it. So they reluctantly built the dune. And that's why the dune is there today. Now, I'll tell you what, that dune has done a good job.
Yeah.
And I don't want to lose that. And I don't want to lose the vegetation on it. But I got to be honest with you, from November to the spring, that vegetation is dormant. So and it came back 100% last year, 100%.
Yeah.
So I don't see any problem there whatsoever.
Councilor Powers, you got anything else you want to add?
No, I respect Joe's opinion. He lives down there. He sees it every day, what's going on.
Yep.
Not only as a member of the yacht club, but as a resident. So I respect that. But again, what I'd like to do is maybe let's get together sometime in the spring and have a meeting with everyone that should be there, that would have some input. And let's see if we can solve not only that problem, but any other little problems that might be occurring down there. Would you agree with that?
I definitely agree, and I know Jay would as well. I had that meeting, I don't know, 2 months ago outside to just try and come up with the issue of moving the container forward and all that stuff. I think it's a great idea to get the Point of Pines Beach Association, any of the residents that want to come, and I'm sure Jay would, once this COVID is over, will probably even let us use the hall upstairs to hold this meeting, and let's get things hashed out. You know what I mean? I know there's some issues down there, and like I said also at my meeting, when we had the meeting outside, is I don't want to get to the point of where there's personal issues, that someone might have a problem with the yacht club 20 years ago and they're still mad at them. That's not what this meeting's going to be about. It's going to be about the neighborhood issues. When there's an overflow of parking, people are parking on Rice Ave, the neighbors don't want that. So just stuff like that. I think it's definitely something we need to do, John, once this whole COVID is over, hopefully, and we can get together. I think it's a great idea, and I'm sure Jay would Jay would agree with me.
Well, that sounds good to me. You know,
Yeah.
that sounds
The
good.
club's open for anyone, anytime. We've been, great about having meetings there for, the
I know you do. You guys do
meetings and,
great.
neighborhood meetings, so anytime.
All right, perfect.
Obviously,
Could
once
I,
this.
could I just quickly add that all
Sure.
that vegetation in there is basically rhizomes. You have these root systems that are under the marsh that stabilize the marsh. I think your picture just showed it pretty well. Those plants will die off. The above ground biomass is going to die off, and the below ground biomass is going to stay there. And I think the only concern that I would have is, if you were talking more than 4, and they were, and of course these are spread out of a pretty big area, so the actual compression is probably small. The only concern that I would have is if you were getting, I can't really think of a particular number, but what do you think, Jay, would be the, barring some sort of major storm, the most dock sections you would want to put in there?
So thanks, David. There's different weights of different docks, right? So like the fingers are relatively light. The dock system, sits on floats, right? But some of the main docks, which are some of the ones that we actually need to work on during the fall to spring, are a little heavier. Those were the ones that were most damaged by the storms last year. And those are the ones that we actually placed in that area. We didn't see anything like the rosewood gooses all came back. All the dune grass came back. Obviously the weeds come back, but we didn't really lose anything. And
How many docks do you think you'll have total, Jay? So is what he really wants to know. Like how many did you put out there total?
The total? I think I just counted them out in the PowerPoint,
Like
right?
15 or 16, right?
Yeah, 15, something like that,
Okay.
max, right? And some were fingers, some were main docks and that.
So Dave, what do you have a number in hand of like in mind of like the
I
max?
don't. I mean, it won't be more than last year. I mean, last year we had to get to all of them because most of our
they were damaged bad. I remember.
Yeah.
But I think in the wording right now, you're saying sort of a minimum of 4. Let's put 4 there. That'll lower the thing.
Yeah, sorry, Dave. There's 2 things, right? There's 4 against our building that's on the sandy area that's not on anything. Okay, it's not going to touch any dune grass. Well, other than the skirts of the dune grass, maybe, right? And then there's where we put them last year, which was over the dune we were asked to build, which we built. Okay, and in an area where there is vegetation, which we put last year, there was about 15 of them, and when we took them out, no issues, right? So that's we're asking for 2 things: put 4 against the building, so there's no problem, and put up to 15 in that area like we had last year.
Okay.
Excuse me, Jay, let me ask you a question. There's a large storage unit down there, the one that's been controversial over the past couple of months. Would it be possible to, well, you can't park cars behind that, obviously, because you don't have access. Would it be possible to store some of the docks down there in back of that? I don't know.
I don't think there's any room back there.
So John, a few things on that. Number one, the crane won't reach there behind that container. It's difficult to put them there and pick. It's relatively impossible to try to work on anything back there. And by the way, Donnie did a great job of cleaning that. So Dawn, I know you're on. Thank you for doing that. It looks great, very clean back there. I know the neighbors are very happy, which is great. So thanks. But I don't think we can store anything back there. We
I
need
don't
to
even
keep.
think there's enough room back there, is there?
Just a suggestion and just a thought.
No, I got you. I got you.
So I know what Commissioner Etoff was getting was, we want to have a number. I don't want to go there after you take all the docks out and there's 40 of them there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
no, this.
four, and I know you're not going to do that. So let's say 4 next to the building and 15 max on the dune grass. Is that okay?
I'm good with that. Yeah, if we can get that approved,
all right with that?
that'd be great.
Okay. But any other questions or comments or concerns from anybody?
And that's comparable to what we had last year, or what you had last year?
Actually, less than what was last year. Last year, there was almost 20.
Probably close to 20.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. And again, so just to reiterate, so we're going to allow them to do this. We'll give them a negative determination. But if we see that there's a problem with the vegetation not coming back, the Point of Pines Yacht Club is going to replenish it and take care of it, make sure it does, and get it back to its normal state.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So do I have a motion to issue them a negative determination?
I'll make the motion.
I'll
Ian
second.
Mahoney makes the motion, seconded by Dave Etoff. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Jay Bolton, I'll get you your copy of this so you'll have it on file. We'll get it filed.
Thank you,
All right,
Commissioner.
thank you. I know Superintendent Charmella is online right now. Don, are you there?
Yes, I am.
How are you, sir? So
Melissa.
we already spoke about the Phragmites control with innovative mosquito. We're gonna
Okay.
issue you guys a negative determination.
Excellent. Thank you.
You guys will be all set.
Thank you.
All right, so I'll get it to you the next day or two. I'll get you the copy of it and we'll get it filed with the state.
Perfect.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. And that's it for the meeting. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn by David. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Heather Legia. All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Thanks, you too.
Bye. Ashley, thank you very much.
Thanks, Ashley.
Good night, everyone.
Thank
Good
you.
It's good to see you, Ann.
Stay safe.